A few weeks ago, I announced that my April movie was running a little late, and you probably noticed that movie is still not out, and unfortunately it will be a little more time. I maybe had the foolish ambition of getting it edited quickly somehow, but apparently after 30 days of shooting 8 to 14 hours a day with no breaks, you need a couple easy days. So yeah, the start of this month wasn't quite as productive or fast as I would have hoped it would have been. But that just means I'm giving myself a nice sort of rest period before now I'm working really hard, so I got the ball rolling. But anyways, this movie is probably going to be a 2-monther. When I first started this project, I assumed that some movies would take multiple months and some would take just a couple weeks. And that is proving to be very true with this movie. And if I disclosed a single aspect about it, you would understand why it is taking as long as it is. But I love just not knowing anything about movies, and I love to treat my movies with the way that I love to engage with movies, and that's going in totally blind. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to bite my tongue a little bit longer. Expect the movie optimistically June 1st, realistically first week of June. We'll see how it goes. I'll catch up. No matter what, I'm gonna do 12 movies in 12 months, and they're all gonna be good movies that I'm proud of, at least good to my liking, which is kind of the only realistic measure you could put on your own art, I guess. But yeah, I guess I'll do a short ramble today about why I love watching movies the way I just said I do. I think there's a lot of discussion about trailers spoiling too much. And I totally agree. I think it's silly that most trailers by default get you into the second act of the movie, because when I go into a movie, I don't want to know like anything, because every single movie ever made is structured to slowly tell you this story and give you this information, right out the gate from the first shot. I want to be like totally like a newborn baby being born into this movie's world and being explained everything and shown the characters. And I think it's so silly that we go into movies knowing some semblance of the structure. And I'm so silly that like I'll remember visuals from a movie. Like if I see like, oh well, that character is hanging off a cliff, that's gonna stick in my mind, and the whole movie I'm gonna be thinking, well, we haven't seen him hanging off a cliff yet. We haven't seen him hanging off a cliff yet, so I'm gonna know something's leading to that, and I'll be like, oh, there it is. So I really don't like watching trailers. If I'm sitting at home with friends and they're like, hey, let's put on a trailer, see if we wanna watch this, I like close my eyes. I'm like, I don't wanna watch the trailer if we choose to watch this movie, because I just love that feeling of just like letting yourself go to something you're totally unaware of. And most of my favorite movies are ones I've started on a whim, just on my TV. I don't even read the freaking synopsis. Sometimes those things give away too much for me. I guess I'm a bit of a spoiler extremist. I feel like sometimes it's enough to know you like the director. It's enough to know people like this movie. They've been talking about it. It's divisive. Divisive movies are usually really interesting watches. So just turning on something divisive, turning on something that causes a lot of discussion online, and I don't even read the discussion, but I see there is discussion. So I'm like, okay, let's dive into this. And that's how I experience most of the movies I watch. And I guess giving my audience that same opportunity, I guess I could realistically make trailers for my movies to get the other people on board. But I don't think I'd like editing a trailer. For anyone else but me, a fan made it a trailer for it, and it was a great trailer, a very typical like good Hollywood trailer if Hollywood were to advertise that movie. But watching that trailer, I'm like, man, this gave away way too much. Like, I wouldn't want to go into my own movie knowing this much. If you've seen that movie, it's like there's twists and places the plot go that you wouldn't expect if you were blindly watching it, even for the first 15 minutes, So, but I was very thankful. That was a good trailer, and there was a couple typos, but it's just funny. Ron Lynch, who's in the movie, is like, "Why do you type my name wrong?" And I was like, "That wasn't me. But yeah, that was funny to explain, I guess. But the best way for me is always going to be that way, that going blind. I love browsing the Criterion channel and just stopping on a movie and being like, play. That's how I found Juzo Itami. That's how I found this movie Fall Guy. Not the new movie, The Fall Guy. There's a movie called Fall Guy that's an old Japanese movie that's so good. It's about this stuntman who, this rival hotshot stuntman is coming to show him up, and they've challenged each other to do the biggest stair fall of all time. And it's just all this build up and his relationship tension and drama building up to this huge stair fall. And it's just very goofy and over the top and melodramatic. And I just watched that totally on a whim. And I just gave away more than probably I would want to know, which is the ironic part, because when you pitch somebody a movie, it's hard not to spoil it a little bit. But I love that movie, and very few people seem to have seen it, and I was glad I took a chance on it. And yeah, I have nothing more to say than that, and I've said this before. But the new movie's coming. Don't worry, it's going to be worth the wait. I've made something really crazy, and my friends who have helped me have devoted themselves to something really crazy, and it's going to be a fun watch. And I hope you guys are having a nice month. Thanks for your patience. I am so excited to make the next movies, which is the ironic part. My brain doesn't go like, man, I need a break. My brain's like, after like a really hard project, I'm like, man, it's gonna be fun to make an easy project, you know? I'm like, bring on the next one, and let's not break my back this time, you know? So yeah, have a nice day, have a nice week. I love you guys, and I love movies. I just rewatched Brief Encounter, and if you know Brief Encounter, that's a very sad thing to rewatch. Devastating movie. Go watch Brief Encounter. Bye-bye.